Good morning. This is Máirín Delaney from the communications team in Ireland. I'm sitting here in a very hot, sweltering heat of Accra in Ghana. I arrived a couple of days ago and I'm delighted to be interviewing Anna Adomaa from Sisters of St. Louis. Welcome, Anna. I would call Anna Adomaa because that's just how she's referred to here. And Anna Adomaa, excuse me, runs the St. Louis Fashion Centre here in Accra and Ghana. So before we talk about the Fashion Centre, I'd love you to tell me a little bit about yourself, Adomaa, where you were born, your family, where you went to school.
All right. My name is Anna Adomaa, as it has been already been mentioned. I was born in Kumasi, in a place called Pramso, and I am the only child between my mother and then my father. They did not marry, so they went their separate ways. But from my father's side, I have three siblings, one lady and then two boys. Then with my mother's side, I have 5 siblings also, 2 boys and then 3 girls. Well, how I came to know the sisters, I had my education at a village called the Janso, via Bekwai Ashanti. And then after SS, I decided to enter into religious life. But as a child, the call came when I was 7 years. So 7 years, I decided to be a sister. I told my father, and then he said, okay, then you have to study hard. So that was where the call, started. And so after SS, I told my father, and then he said, okay, so we asked around, and then the St. Louis Sisters address was given to me. But before that, when I was in school, I was writing to one congregation, Sisters of Mary Immaculate, in the north, Dafiama and then Wa. But after SS, I lost their contact, so I couldn't communicate. So the St. Louis Sisters came in, and then I visited them. And for me, the first day, they warmly welcomed me. And I really liked the way they welcomed me. Though that was my first time, they didn't know me, I didn't know them, but it was like I was one of them, kind of. So I told my father that okay, I would want to study them for some time and then see if I can join them. Then he said okay. So I went back, and then later on, I came to visit them again. So after studying them and then they studying me, I decided to join them. So that's how come I became, or I have become a St. Louis sister.
And what year was that you entered?
2009.
And your first and your final profession?
In 2012, October.
2022?
Yes.
So you're very recent.
2012, October 2012.
Was your first profession?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And then the final one was 2020, January 29th.
Just before COVID?
Yeah,
2020.
Yeah, after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. After your final profession, what was your first, what did you do after your final profession? Where were you posted?
After my first profession, I was sent to Oku in their farm place. It's in the Ashanti region. And I was to help at the clinic, Oku Clinic. So when I went there, Sister Máirín was in charge of the place. So they had a kind of orientation for me. I wasn't a nurse, but I was to study what they were doing there because I wanted to become a nurse. Okay. That was why I was sent there to study things. And then I was also helping her with the administrative work. So when I was there, I came in as after SS. So it was time for me to continue or further my education. So when I wrote to my superiors, then they also gave me, they called me, and then they told me that they have seen that I'm good with my gifts. So if I could look at the art side, Not that I can't be a nurse, I can, but for me, they see me more. And yes.
Okay. So that's how you ended up kind of changing direction.
Yes, from nursing to fashion designing.
So you went on to do a degree in fashion design?
Yes, please.
And where was that?
At Blue Crest School of Fashion and Design, Blue Crest, Accra. So that's where I studied.
And what you graduated in 2020?
Yes.
And then you went on to get involved here in the fashion centre, or to establish the fashion centre here in the regional convent here in Accra.
Yes.
Can you tell me a bit about that? Because it was there before you arrived, but
yes, please.
But it changed after you arrived.
So the center was established in 2013 February. I was at Oku then. So that's when Sister Juliet was here. She started. She's now at Oku, Afram Place. So she started.
So you've swapped locations.
Yes. So when they started, they were sewing for Jubilee School. So they were making their uniforms for them, kind of. So this is the uniform for Jubilee School. So they were doing that. They have PEs, and then Friday wear, kind of. Then they were also sewing for the sisters. Okay. So that was basically what they were doing here.
Uniforms and
sisters, yes, please. Okay. So that was what they were doing. So after my my school, I was doing my national service. And then COVID came in, and after 7 months, there was lockdown. So no one could go and then come back and all of that. So we were not going. I was not going for the national services again. But the government asked us to, so because of the lockdown. So after the lockdown, it was some few weeks or months for us to finish with the national service. But then we didn't go again. Yeah, but then government gave us the certificate because we had already done about 7 months. So
is every young person required to do national service in Ghana?
Yes, okay. we are all supposed to do.
For how long?
It's a year.
Okay.
Yeah, a year. Oh, wow. Kind of a year. Yeah, and then because if you do that, you can easily get work to do, because sometimes when you are going to look for work, they will ask you for that certificates, kind of. Okay. Yeah.
So you arrived in the fashion centre anyway?
Oh, yes.
And in 2020, after your national service was nearly complete.
Yes.
And so you arrived in a situation where only school uniforms and sisters' garments were being made.
Yes.
So what made you decide to diversify? I suppose you had your fashion degree, so I suppose there was a...
Oh, yes. So I came in around I think exactly 4 years. This month. So I started with the making of the face masks.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and then people really patronized in that. Yeah, they were ordering and all of that. So we were just making for them. And then after, I decided to add some other services or products to it. So now we do altar cloths, sew, bed sheets, bead making, and then we also do training for young ladies who have interest in sewing. Okay. So now this is where we are.
Yeah. Kind of. Tell me a bit actually about the training program, because that's obviously something new that you brought in.
Yeah, for the training program, it's 2 years. It's 2 years, but it can be 1 year for those who already have knowledge in sewing, but maybe you want to do some kind of polish up or top up. So that one will be just for 1 year. Okay. But those who don't have any knowledge at all, is 2 years for them. Yeah. So the things that we do here, we do pattern making. We use brown paper to do the design. But before that, we do the drawing. We have fashion drawing. So you draw whatever design you want to bring out, the style. Then after you are done with the drawing, you use brown paper to cut the design out. And then after you have gotten the pattern, you now bring the fabric, you put a pattern on it, then you cut, and then you go and then you construct the garments. So that one is garment construction. That's the sewing or the joining of whatever you have cut. So basically that's what we do. And then we also do bead making also. Bags, earrings, necklaces, key holders, so many things. Then we also do fascinators. Oh, lovely. Yes.
Wow. I should have asked you to wear one of them in the interview.
Yes.
And so you have the first set of students about to graduate later this year?
Yes.
Yes, after the 2 years?
Yes.
And they got some funding or some help from?
Yes, from major superiors through the Conrad Hilton Foundation, through the major superiors, Conference of Major Superiors of Ghana. So the first 6 that came, they got the opportunity to benefit from that project. So they brought them some machines, cutting tools, and some fabrics that they can use for their practicals.
And they get to keep the machines at the end when they graduate?
Yes, that's they give them machines to set up, like when they live here, so that they won't sit home and say that I don't have anything to start with. So they have machines and then their tools to start after here.
And part of their graduation process, they have to do a fashion parade of the garments they've designed.
Yes.
Wow.
So
have they started preparing for that yet, or?
Yes, please. They are now designing their garments. So they are designing, and then I'm going to choose about 6 from what they are designing now, and so they are going to work with the 6. So each some have their inspirations they are designing from. Some have flowers, leaves. Some have a concept. Like invited guests to a wedding or a party and all of that. So they are all designing. Then now we choose 6 for them. So that is what they're going to work with or make for their fashion show, and then for their graduation as well.
Sounds like that sounds very exciting, even from your perspective, to see it all coming together at the end. Very interesting. So I suppose, what do you find gives you the greatest kind of fulfillment in the whole fashion centre, or in the training, or? Because you've achieved a lot since you arrived here 4 years ago.
Anyway, for me, I always say that God is always with me. So He grants me the graces to wake up. He gives me the idea as how to go about everything that I do at the center, kind of. And then also with the training, the ladies who are learning, in fact, they are very serious. Whatever you teach them, I think they're able to get it and even practice it on their own. And then with some of them, when I'm not there, I give instructions, and then they even teach those who have come after them. And then some also go out to even teach, like bead making and all of that. So for me, I'm so happy that at least they are getting whatever I'm teaching them. So for me, that really gives me the joy to even do more, kind of.
It's a lovely system in there, because you have the women that have been working there since 2013, was it?
Yes, 13.
And they're helping to mentor these students as well, which is really nice. Especially when you can't be there. They're there to help them. It's a lovely system, I have to say. How, like, you've achieved loads, but I bet you probably have other plans or desires or goals you'd like to achieve in the future with the centre. What do you think they would be, or any thoughts on that?
For me, it's my hope that in future the centre can be expanded, because where we are now, we have both the trainees and then the workers at the same place, the same room. So we are sharing, kind of. So if I'm teaching, it's like the noise and all of that, the workers are
yes, of course,
there. So the space is a big challenge to us. So we are praying that in future we will have a bigger place. That's the workers will be at their own corner, then the students or the trainees will also be at their own corner, kind of. Because this training, especially with the trainees, some they have lost their either mother or father. They are staying with auntie or grandma, kind of. So for us, it's a hope to continue with this training so that they can get something. To be able to depend on in future. Yes, to help them, kind of.
And in terms of the, I suppose, this goal to try and expand in the future, what would you see as the biggest kind of challenge to achieve that?
I would say that in fact we are in Paraku here, kind of. So where to even get the land maybe will be a challenge, kind of, for now. Because around here the place is so full, kind of. So even if we are to have a new center, it will be far from maybe where we are now, kind of. So that one will also mean that we have to also increase the publicity of the center at the new location and all of that. Kind of. So it will be a bit.
Well, who knows? I mean, it'd be great to see it expand because it's a fantastic operation. So I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
I'm following your journey very closely now after having met you. Before we finish up, I just wanted to see if there's anything else you'd like to add about your own journey so far, or the fashion centre, anything, Sister St. Louis.
Okay. First of all, I will say that as a child, I wanted to be an artist in future, but then something happened because I could even draw from walls. I would see an image on a wall with lights on it so that I can clearly see it and then draw. But then my friends were not saying anything there. So later on, it's like they were calling me a rich. Yes, because they couldn't see. I was the only one who could see whatever was on the wall. So that one got to my father. They reported it, and then my father stopped me from drawing. He stopped me from drawing, and then asked me to. Yes, because he didn't want them to continue with that name. So he asked me to look for another career, and then I said, okay, I'll become a nurse. So when I entered religious life, that was what I brought. So on my file, I have nursing, and kind of. But then when I went to school, and then the sisters also saw the arts in me. No, they also.
It's incredible, really, isn't it? It really does feel like
they spoke with me, and then I decided to let me give it a try. Though not the art I wanted. But then fashion is also full of arts. So for me, I'm very happy that I'm back to the arts,
Fantastic.
Sorry.
I'm delighted to hear that.
Yes.
And I suppose we'll finish up now, unless there's something else you'd like to say.
Yes, so for me, I'm grateful to God for everything, whatever has happened in my life. And I also thank the St. Louis sisters for also seeing the art in me, what I wanted to become as a child. They have brought me back to that. So sometimes it may hurt to change direction, but then if you leave everything to God and listen to what others also see and reflect on this, God also, show us clearly the way for us, or His plans also for us. So you should also listen to others as we listen to our own self.
Well, I think that's a lovely way to finish up this interview. Adomaa, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's very warm out here for everybody who's actually looking at this video, so I think the sweat is pouring off the pair of us. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.